John, and I think
This might be a 40-point game.
Here it is. Here it is. No?
All right, let's get NFL.
Oh yeah, let's get NFL. So
All right, so
Here we go.
I got the playoffs right here, so I'm just gonna go matchup by matchup, and we can
Alright.
argue.
We could always make this like a part 2 or something too if we if we're going way over time or whatever. So let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, all right, Chiefs obviously got a bye, so nothing there. Bills, Colts. Who do you guys got?
all right. This is I'm gonna start this one off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think we gotta obviously, Colts just sneak in. They're playing an easy team. They play the Jags, who they actually split with, I think, in the season.
They
So
did.
lost to the Jags. And the Colts did have a very stellar defense beginning the season for the most part. They just kind of fell off a little bit here and there. Offense isn't performing as strong as it should. And Bills just look good overall.
Yeah.
Like everyone on that team is performing. And another thing is, what you don't even notice is that now that the Pats are out the door, the Bills finally have a chance to make a run until the Pats maybe rebuild or until the Dolphins get better. Or, the Bills aren't going to see a chance like this very often, especially in our division, because again, the Jets are going to have rebuilding. A lot of the teams in our division are good and they rebuild, and there's a lot of changing there, but there hasn't been for a while. And I think the Bills have been waiting a long time for Brady to be out the door and jump on this. And they've been improving season by season. If you look at that overall, they've had better season after better season for the most part, especially the last 3 years. And, long story short, I'm just going to have to give it to the Bills for that one. It's a long explanation, but you have to.
Yeah, no, I like the Colts. I think Phil Rivers, on his possible farewell tour. I like that Colts team, but it's pretty easy for me to say here. It's going to Buffalo. I think Buffalo is the second best team in the AFC. They have the best chance of knocking off KC, and they're going to be tough to beat. I think they definitely win that one.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to be said. I think
if you go with the next matchup that I think you're going to go with, Jerry, Browns Steelers.
Steelers Browns.
Steelers Browns.
You want to start that one off, Jerry?
And they did play each other the last week again. Steelers didn't have everyone in, but
I'll go with that.
Browns
game.
showed up. I'm gonna take a hot take on this one, and I'm gonna say Browns because I think the Steelers are a good team, but I think that the Steelers have been overhyped, and I don't think that the way the Steelers have played their last 4 or 5 games, playing against those teams, I'm sorry, but I don't think that you can lose to the Bengals, the Washington football team, and honestly, another thing that they probably didn't even see coming is they probably should have. I mean, they probably shouldn't have, but if they probably didn't even know they were going to be playing the Browns, but that last game, that gives the Browns some hope, and that really fires up Baker Mayfield, I'm sure, on his end.
I think it does, but I think also that they did have guys sit out, so you have to consider that. I personally think the Steelers will definitely lose on their way to championship, but I don't think the Browns are going to be the one to do it. So I think
It's a tough one.
Just because Ben Roethlisberger has been in playoffs before, he knows what this is. I don't think he's going to lose to a first-round matchup like the Browns. Can definitely see it happening, but I think the Steelers.
I could see it happening.
Yeah, I'm agree with that. I think I want, as much as I would love to predict the Steelers first-round bounce, this isn't the matchup for it. I don't believe. I think Cleveland, Mason Rudolph was playing. T.J. Watt was not playing yesterday. Not yesterday. This past weekend, they were sitting a lot of their great guys, and the Browns barely got out of there alive. I just don't think this is the right matchup for the Steelers to get knocked off. Although I do think they will get knocked off, like Jerry said. I don't think this is the week that it happens.
So we're going to go with Steelers for that one?
Definitely
Steelers.
I won't be surprised, though, if the Browns pulled it off. I wouldn't.
I won't be either, and I'd be hyped for them.
But I think the Steelers – but now if we're going to the next round for that, I think it's
Titans Ravens.
Titans Ravens.
Here's
a – I don't know if you guys want to start it off, which of you wants to start it off, but –
I'll start it off, actually.
This is a tough one.
So last year, the Titans got the best of the Ravens last year. That's who the Ravens got knocked off by. They were 14-2 last year, but the Titans came in and beat them.
Henry. They couldn't get him.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, right. And this year, the Titans are actually the favorite. Technically, they're 4-seed, Ravens are 5-seed. But no matter what, I will go Titans again, actually. I like that. I like the way the Titans match up with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are just – they don't have enough weapons offensively. As crazy as it sounds, Lamar Jackson is kind of hurting. I mean, in order for the Ravens to be good, Lamar needs to be great for them to
Well,
even be
well,
good.
you
So
lose-
for Lamar needs to be ridiculous for them to be
Well,
a great
you got to
team.
think about it. Like
So-
you just said, you're losing weapons. So you lose Hurts, you lose a couple of your good tight ends, you lose a couple offensive pieces. Not to say the Ravens still aren't the team that they have proven to be, but the Titans have just, after the last season, they have this momentum, especially with Henry pounding the line. And the Ravens, if they couldn't control it, I'm honestly going to say the season I think the Ravens had the best chance of possibly making it far was last season. I don't think they would have necessarily beat KC, but that was their best chance with the items that they had. I mean, we saw they gave the Pats a run for their money, and since they couldn't control the Titans, I don't think with the pieces they have now, they can even come close to what Henry's got in store for
Well,
them.
no, and I think Derrick Henry, no matter how good a rush defense that he's going against, he'll always come out if he has his mind to it. He'll come out of there with a 200 rushing yard game and
100%.
2 touchdowns. I mean, he just does what he gets what he wants. I mean, this guy he just eats. It's crazy.
100%. And I think I don't know what you're going to say, Jerry, but I'm in agreement with Justin on Tennessee.
I just think that Derrick Henry, like Justin said, is going to get what he wants. So if you play the run, I still think Tannehill's a good QB. So I think then you got a pass problem, and then the Ravens' only hope at that point is generating an efficient amount of offense, and I don't think they can do that. I don't necessarily think they're going to stop the Titans, and at that point, you need to produce offensively. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it at the rate that the Titans will do that. So I think the Titans are going to take that matchup. So we'll go in the
Okay.
NFC. So Packers obviously got a bye, but Saints Bears. I mean, I personally Saints, but
I think it's
Yeah.
with Drew coming back off the injury and Drew almost snagging that first spot off the Packs. I think Drew is definitely in the hunt and one of those guys who is wishing for another ring on his finger. And I think
the Saints are going to be really hoping for a good performance from their O-line in this one with the Bears rush defense.
And I'm hoping they don't get
going
screwed
against
over like
Al
they have.
for Kamara and for Breeze. You need that O-line to play well. But I think this one as well, similar to the Bills Colts 2-7 over in the AFC. I think the Saints win this one for sure.
Yeah, I think they do.
and
It's going to
then
be a tough one. Though.
Seahawks,
Rams. Honestly,
Be a good game.
Rams have surprised me in the finishing off of this season. I didn't think that they were going to finish as strong as they would, and I actually didn't see them making it. To be honest with you, I thought Arizona was going to take the spot here.
It is tough. It's tough to look at the bracket and not see Arizona on there. Man, that
And
sucks.
I honestly, if it had been Arizona in this spot with Seahawks, I would give it to Arizona because I
mean,
think
that's an exciting team that missed the playoffs. That sucks.
It is.
And you see Washington there, and that's just that would have been their spot. So that's
I got my what the fuck moment coming up after we get it over there. But I'm gonna have to go again. Seahawks have been struggling lately too. They came fast off the season, and they've been losing games they shouldn't have and making them too close. Like with San Francisco, what was it 3-point game? I'm gonna say the favored Seahawks, but I will not be surprised if the Rams take it.
Yeah, I'll actually. I agree with a lot of what you just said there. I think this will be the best matchup in the NFC wildcard games for sure. I think, and you got two quarterbacks with Super Bowl experience in Jared Goff and Russell Wilson, and I actually am really excited for this game. I think it's going to be a one possession game. I guess I'll go Seahawks as well if I have to come down on the side. I'll go Seattle because Russell Wilson is an MVP caliber player. I think he's definitely got the edge. But like you said, I would not be surprised if LA could pull it out. The Rams look pretty good right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if LA could pull it out, but I think Seattle does have playoff experience. Russell Wilson's still a good QB. I think they'll take that matchup. And then the Washington football team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. John,
this might be a 40-point game.
Here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna say it right now. I think the Bucs take it, but the Bucs cannot have any issues with communication, with play calling, with doubting Tom Brady at all. Because next game they're going to go to, because I assume they're going to crush this game. And to be honest with you, this technically should be a bye for them, but not even. But playing the Washington football team should be a good chance for Brady to get back in the playoff scheme with an easy team.
Get a rhythm. Just get a rhythm.
Make sure he's prepared to play a very good team and just honestly give him a little practice out there on the field and just work with his weapons. Because when he plays with the Packers, it's not going to be the same setup that he has like in the regular season. Because the Packers, I don't even know if I can give you an answer for that game. And it's probably going to surprise me what answer I'm going to give you. But that game,
well, it's going to be a hell of an episode next week when we're talking about the next round of games because they're going to be unbelievable matchups.
But let me take it into my. Oh, what did you guys?
Yeah. You have with your. Oh yeah, actually. I agree. I think it's definitely the Bucs, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think this is one where Tampa's fucking around for a while and Washington's hanging in. I don't think it is. I think it's a blowout from the get-go. What about you, Jerry?
Jerry, you agree?
Roll over, steamroll.
I think the Bucs, especially after seeing, I think Godwin had 2 touchdowns last week, or he at least had 1. He's been performing a little better lately after he came off a little bit of an injury. I think with Godwin, Evans, Antonio Brown getting some minutes, and he got a touchdown. And your running backs, you're sifting through like 4, great running backs, but only 2 of them are getting the minutes. There should be no reason, especially with the defense, there should be no reason. But I think the only thing that has concern for the Bucs is either the play calling on offense and doubting Tom Brady, or the defense, because the defense sometimes just doesn't cover right. It doesn't quite cover the teams they should. So that's my only concern. But my what the fuck moment is, and this one is even bigger than the World Junior one, but you guys may completely disagree with me, but Philadelphia had to win against Washington football team to send the Giants.
Oh yeah, this is the what the fuck moment of the month.
So here's my thing. I'm coming at this with no bias, and I would be pissed if I was in a similar situation as the Giants, but hear me out. Right? You're the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't give a shit necessarily what happens in the end, because if you lose, you win, you're not going anywhere. Now, obviously, you want to come out and win, right? Every team wants to finish off with a win. You want to finish off with the best record you can have.
Yep.
Not to say Washington football team still isn't a good team. They performed well. It was still going to be a close game, in my opinion. Now, Carson Wentz, I think he wasn't going to play at all. I don't think he was getting minutes really, ever, because of the whole, thing going on there. Jalen Hurts, though, you take him out, because you're doing well in the game, and you put in Sudfeld. Here's my thing. I'm not going to get mad at a team for deciding to put in a guy who's seen very rare minutes to try and give him some minutes in a game that doesn't matter to them and has no important outcome for them. And I think and the Giants offense, the Giants head coach said it's not right and it's disrespectful for the game for the Philadelphia Eagles to have screwed them over like that. Here's my thing for that. I see where he's coming from, and if I was a Pats fan and that happened in a situation like that for us, sure, I'd be pissed too. But I think it's unfair for you to blame a team on you not making it the playoffs when you're still below 500, and you should have, the Giants, if they wanted to make it the playoffs, they should have performed better this season. But all in all, I think that Washington was the team that should have won that game. And I think that the Eagles could have won that game if they had kept Jalen Hurts in. But I'm not going to blame the Eagles for trying to win the game with a younger guy, and they had a lead. Now, the guy obviously proved to be absolute shit, giving 2 turnovers in his first 2 appearances. So at that point, I think they should have put Hurts in the final minute to maybe clutch up.
Well, once you decide to switch him, you already switched him.
But here's the thing.
I think this was an overreaction. Agree with you. I agree with you. I think that it became a huge deal this week about them doing that, and I understand it cost the Giants the playoff spot, and that sucks for them. But at the end of the day, we're talking about 2 teams that have 5 wins or 6 wins. Like you said, if you wanted to make the playoffs, you got to win more games. In any other year except for this one, you don't deserve to make the playoffs with that record. And additionally, additionally, tanking losing games essentially isn't a new thing. We just saw, like, the same week we saw Mason Rudolph playing in Pittsburgh because they want to get Ben healthy for next week. Like, what do you mean? You can play wherever the hell you want to play. That's not a new thing. I think it was definitely
I think the coach is trying to put it,
and
I think the coach is on the way out. I think, if I've heard correctly, but I don't know. But
and at the end of the day, all they're fucking fighting over is who's going to lose to Tampa this week. So, really, you're all fighting over 1 extra week of work. Enough.
Right.
All you guys suck, and you guys all have losing records. You don't even deserve to be there.
And let me tell you right now. if they want to keep Jalen Hurts a little healthier, when the game's getting closer and Washington's really fighting for that win that they need, and you want to put in another guy to give him minutes, so be it. Like, honestly, we've seen us taking out Tom Brady before, and we've seen us trying to keep players healthy. It's nothing new. And you've never seen Belichick go, oh, yeah, I'm pissed that they did this because, that's why we lost. No coach should be blaming another team for them not making playoffs. You don't make the playoffs because of your whole season, and you didn't show up for your whole season. You lost some pieces, but you still could have performed better, and you still could have won games that you didn't. There's no reason you should be blaming another team. And it just, I get it. This is interdivisional rivalries, and this is, making that one playoff spot. But still, at the end of the day, the way the coach said it in the interview, if you don't have it, you got to check it out. The way he stated it, he gave this whole long speech about the art of football and getting to the playoffs and how this team purposely screwed them over. That's just not how I see it. That's not how I
agree.
see it.
And I don't know if you have anything.
Even if I were to see it like that, you can't complain about it. There's nothing in the rules that says you can't take out a good player for a less good player to give him minutes.
You can't. Yeah, right.
You can't punish a team for that.
I think you guys kind of covered it, but I mean, at the end of the day, Philly had no obligation to try and get the Giants into the playoffs. So I'm not going to blame Philly for trying to give a guy minutes that doesn't really see the field. And a game to them doesn't really matter. I mean, and Justin brings up a good point. We've seen tanking before. By winning another game, not only are you sending Giants to the playoffs, which is just meaningless, like you said, because they're playing Tampa Bay, but also it affects draft things too. So, I mean, worst case scenario, Philly loses the game, but maybe their draft stock's better. So I think it's unfair for the Giants to say anything about that. And at the end of the day, you have a below 500 record. You shouldn't be, in my opinion, in the playoffs anyways. So what you should be focused on is at least getting your record to 500, because then I would have been more respectful about it. I've been like, all right, you did get your record to 500. You have a reason to be in there.
I definitely would have been more understanding too. But in this scenario, it's like,
but if you're a team
it didn't matter which one of you guys won. Yeah, it didn't matter which one of those four teams came out of that division. Either way, they're losing first round.
Yeah, if you're fighting for a 0.47 or a 0.45, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be making.
None of you should have been in the playoffs anyways, so it's meaningless.
It should be the Arizona Cardinals instead of any of you guys. So.
I think I would be more pissed about I'm actually more pissed about the Arizona Cardinals, losing that spot than I am about this, because the Arizona Cardinals actually had a chance of possibly beating the Seahawks if they're in that position.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I'd want to shout out, let me look for it. But I think the last thing I'm going to shout out is just before we wrap up, I think we're all set, right?
Yeah, we are.
Is just NHL's coming up, so be prepared for that. We're going to be getting that
next
coverage
week
for you next week, but obviously NFL is going to be primary for the most part, but we're going to be getting you NHL discussion, NBA. But for the Bruins, Bergie gets the C, and we still got Krejci with the A and Marshy with the A. So just a shout out for what our letters are for the men in black and gold.
Yes, sir. Bergie finally getting that C. He's long deserved. We love to see it.
Deserved it. And a hat tip to Chara. He deserves to go wherever he wants.
Facts. If we haven't talked about that on this already, thank you for everything, Chara.
Big Z. He deserves to go for where he wants. He deserves to
forever my captain.
He got a ring with us. I'm happy. And
ultimate legend. We'll see 33 in the rafters one day, man.
You'll see it in the rafters for sure.
Definitely. Well, I think that was a good episode, boys. We'll wrap it up. As always, if you have made it this far, please like and subscribe to the page. And boys, it was nice talking to you today.
Nice
it's been real, boys.
Peace.
Peace.